The G20 presidency has brought the global spotlight on India, and we have seen in last several months the focus in G20 deliberations have also been on the digital economy, especially public digital infrastructure. And I have with me Union Minister of State for IT and Electronics, Rajeev Chandrashekhar, who has led many of these deliberations on digital economy. What are your big expectations from the G20 summit that is going to happen?
No, look, I think you said that the spotlight of the world is on India and our Prime Minister during this presidency of Bharat of the G20. On that there is no doubt, but I will also put forth for your audience's consideration that not just is the spotlight on India, but India's overall thinking process, economic policies, technology policies are also now leaving an indelible impression on the countries of the world. And I think the path that India has forged, the path that India under Prime Minister Narendra Modi ji has forged in the last 9 years, especially during COVID and post-COVID, is certainly a beacon of inspiration and ideas and thoughts for the countries of the world, including the countries of the global south. And it is Prime Minister's vision, as you know, in India to say Sabka Saath, Sabka Vikas, Sabka Vishwas and Sabka Prayas. And in a lot of ways, he is taking that same thought, the same philosophy and ideology of inclusiveness, of working together to build a better India. He is taking the same thought to saying countries of the world must work together, build confidence with each other and build a better world for all the people of the world.
We have showcased our strength in the digital public infrastructure. The UPI transactions, for instance, in August crossed 10 billion mark. World is increasingly looking at India to lead the digital economy architecture that is emerging. Are we ready to share the strengths and knowledge we have for digital public infrastructure building, and how many countries are we in talks now to
Look, there is certainly amongst the many things that India is today inspiring the rest of the world. One of the key areas is Prime Minister Narendra Modi ji's vision of using technology to empower people, to transform people's lives, improve their lives and transform and improve democracy. Now that is certainly been made possible because of the DPIs that India has made and built, and there is a lot of interest from around the world for India's DPIs, whether it is Aadhaar or UPI or eSanjeevani or DigiLocker. And we will continue to work with the countries of the world. 8 countries have already approached India for the India DPI, and we will work with them to be able to transfer the technology and the innovation and that whole solution set to them at no cost, as Prime Minister Narendra Modi ji has promised. Most importantly, during this G20 presidency of India, there is a global consensus that has been built on the power and the technology of the DPI, and there is now agreement, a global agreement on the framework, on the principles and the architecture of the DPI for the first time ever. And it is absolutely appropriate that a country like India, under the Prime Minister who has transformed India and Indian governance through the use of technology, is today leading the presidency of the G20 at a time when technology is now being recognized as a very important force multiplier for the future of the world.
Yeah. And last question, sir. With this comes the question of cyber security. You've also been saying that there are many other countries with which we are in talks now for the DPI. But on cyber security, from the G20 summit perspective, what should we expect?
India has always maintained that the internet and the broader technology ecosystem should be safe and trusted and accountable for all those who use it. Those values and those principles have translated into discussions in the Digital Economy Working Group meetings of the G20, where there is now a consensus that cyber security for the digital economy is an area that the countries of the world agree that they must cooperate. And I think beyond this G20, there will be certainly many global protocols and agreements between countries to make cybersecurity a priority and to implement it.
Thank you very much for talking to NDTV. So in Delhi, with my camera colleague Azam, Himanshu Shekhar for NDTV.